On public access and chill in a fucking Zoom room that eventually is going to pour in with people. We are live. My name is Brian Bargner, and this is my co-host and wifey for lifey, Kate Ham Clancy. See, look at that. People are almost filling in. We almost got a full screen right now. We're doing it.
1 box
Hell
away.
yeah.
Sold out according to me show.
Perfect.
And as long as I say it and post it on Facebook, it's real, you guys. So that's my reality. And if you disagree with me, I will block you. So it's fine. Everything's fine.
That was a cute comment. Wifey for lifey. Yes, absolutely. Because actually, can we announce it on the show?
Yeah.
Hey, Brian, how much fucking pot did you smoke today, dude?
It's gonna be 69.
Dude, did you just win the ultimate frisbee competition, Brian? Look, everyone. Brian, the dude who just won the ultimate frisbee competition in the Olympics, everyone.
Oh,
congrats,
cool.
Brian.
Todd Williams, everybody.
Medal. Brian won gold medal, everyone. Congratulations.
Oh, man. I wish I knew who this was.
He won.
Cool. All right. Bye, everybody. All right, we got... Yo, I missed that. That's been happening. I've been doing live comedy again. That's been happening all the time during live comedy. But I was like, I miss Zoom comedy where I can just fucking mute motherfuckers and delete them. Because bar comedians, holy shit, they just get screamed at and bottles thrown at them all day, every day.
Yo, you got the best heckle show one, though.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I guess we could talk about that. I don't know if we long story short, this guy, so I haven't done live comedy in 3 months, basically, and this guy just starts talking about jobs. He tells me that he was a hot dog stuffer at Sonic. That's what he decides to tell me, just in the middle of my set.
Interrupted the show, but he didn't just float the fact out there. He stood up and he did. I have to squat through this.
Yeah.
He got his fist ready and he was like, I was a hot dog stuffer at Sonic. And he did this uppercut that made me feel like the hot dogs were not treated fairly. It was not up to OSHA standards at this Sonic. It was wild. It was quite the heckle.
Yeah, and that's where I realized I can't even mute him or whatever. And he just keeps rattling shit up. He's like, yeah, they had a blueberry pancake hot dog. They had a cream-filled hot dog. To which I replied, they did not have a cream-filled hot dog at Sonic. And he's like, in a crucifix shirt, but I know you're already picturing that. He's like, you trying to tell me they didn't have a cream-filled hot dog at Sonic? I'm like, I don't know enough about hot dogs for this to be set number 1.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you brought that up because we were just gonna talk about what we were talking about before the show, anyways, because we're out of like material probably. But you didn't want to talk about it. I thought it was a very good conversation. You were poo-pooing it like immediately.
Hey, Brian, you're on the drugstore down the street, you fucking hippie fuck.
Oh, cool.
What is
I don't
going
know.
on?
Cool. Something cool's happening. I wish I even played Ultimate Frisbee once or was more of a hippie. I'm bad at hacky sack. I have fucking fat knees, bro. I don't know where all these people are coming at me with this $10. Oh my God, why? We're getting heckled in different languages now?
Load it.
Hang on.
I keep clicking remove.
Let me see. Stop.
You saw me clicking it over and
Yeah.
over again, right?
Hang on. This is strange.
Shut up.
Oh no.
This is strange.
13.
Oh, this is fucking interesting.
This is weird.
You know how I was like, remember when like 10 seconds ago I was like, I missed this, and then I was like, never mind, ever again. Immediately not
I
into
want to
it.
remember one that I asked.
What was that? iPhone de Miguel? I'm gonna go.
They're gone.
What?
They're gone.
I
We
actually
just wanted to
engaged.
engage.
Yeah, see, that's what happens with hecklers. They're
Hi.
just big fucking cowards always. All right, so
Yeah, big coward, dude.
who are you? iPhone
iPhone.
13? I don't think
Yes,
your parents
sir.
saw a baby and named a baby iPhone 13. That would be fucking
Hi.
weird. I'm gonna name my baby
Cowards,
iPhone 14. My baby's
Thank
way
you.
cooler than you.
Thank you.
Shut the fuck up, Brian. Did you fucking just went out of prison, bro?
Yeah, I just got out of prison for murdering Zoom hecklers.
Ay. I think that's it. I think we got him. I think we're
Oh.
good.
Is that Vance W?
Huh?
Who's Vance W? Was that the heckler?
That's fine. As long as
Oh.
they don't start shit, or they can at least take it back. Jesus Christ. If you're gonna heckle, at least be able to like get yelled at.
I know,
for
that's the
fucking
worst part. You
37
finally
minutes.
engage with them. You're like,
Yeah.
maybe I will make a friend. Maybe we'll break bread over this. We'll become a stronger community. But nay,
Yeah, seriously. Sorry about
what
that,
a
guys.
divided nation.
We've been doing Zoom comedy for fucking like, I don't know, months, and that's never happened except the first show. Like,
Yeah, it had
porn
10
and
months.
Minecraft happened for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So our bads about that. Let's just do the joke we were gonna do and then get the
Well-
goddamn comedy show started.
Honestly, like this,
Mm-hmm.
like none of this like heckling shit can make me half as anxious as anything that just happened between Brian and I in our car. I was driving, and like, do you guys ever do this where like you are just in a mindset where somebody says something to you and it just wrecks your worldview, and it's like the worst possible timing. I am driving a vehicle. We've been out all day.
No, fuck that. That's not what exactly you're misrepresenting. Are there any couples here at least tonight in a relationship? Clap, please. Somebody. I need to make this normal.
Clap,
Anyone in a
clap.
relationship? Okay, we've been together for years. Has anyone else just like been together for years? So now you're just at that point where you're like out of shit to talk about. So you're like, I'm thinking it, so now I'm gonna say it to you and see what you think. That's
I'm
what it was.
single.
That's what I thought it was. Anyways, I thought it was whatever. Fine.
I guess because Brian just like, I'm driving and Brian just looks over at me like we're in like heavy traffic. It is dark out, and he's just like, "What do you think the worst way to die is?"
Fair question.
It was the worst. And like, here's the thing. I have my answer. I actually didn't take a single second to think about it. I had it locked and loaded. Does anyone else have it? Like,
I
you
wanna know what
the
people
worst
think.
way to die is? Like, you already know what it would be.
Yeah, drowning.
Drowning. That's a
Yeah.
fair one.
Drowning's a good one.
Yeah.
Didn't think of it when we were having the conversation, actually.
Burning to death.
Bleeding to death.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad one.
Yeah, bleeding out's gotta suck.
How about drowning in your own blood? That would be fucking terrifying, am I
That's
right?
a twofer. You gotta have a coupon for that. That's
oh,
wild.
morbid.
I don't know. See, I guess like I wasn't even thinking about the cause. Like what came out of my mouth, I didn't know was like so deep seated in me and something I felt so passionately about. But I was just like, I don't want to die naked on the toilet. Like that's all I blurted out. I was like, I don't want to die naked on the toilet. Like any other way is fine.
Oh, you're better than Elvis?
That's what he said.
Yes,
Okay.
I want that Elvis funeral. Like, if you don't think that is the game plan for me to be in that jumpsuit, and cape, eating fried peanut butter and like banana sandwiches or whatever, having diarrhea to death, that is the game plan.
No way. I was not trying to have it because, like, you take one look at us and you can tell we are not property owners. So our one bedroom apartment is very much a one bathroom apartment, and the toilet butts right up to the tub. Like, your knees are touching the tub when you're on the toilet. So if I die naked on the toilet, I'm gonna end up with like one titty in the tub, the other one's gonna be like under my armpit. I'm pre-wiped, pre-flush, and for some reason, everyone that I went to high school with became an EMT. So whoever shows up, I'm gonna know them on a first name basis, but I won't be there to be like, "Sup, Justin?" No, I'll still have my phone.
You've got
in my
that
hand.
fancy bidet.
That I'm stalking for almost no reason.
You got that fancy bidet. Brian can just like do a little burst of cold water up your bum and try to revive
We
you.
did buy a bidet.
Whoever this is, I'm about to disappoint the fuck out of you. I
Vanessa.
bought
I bought you a bidet.
I guilted Ham into buying me a bidet, like the Hello Tushy, like the thermostat thing and everything for Christmas or whatever the fuck. And then when I realized I would have to drill these very specific holes through so many cabinets in our one bedroom, one bathroom apartment and all the carpentry that was eventually involved, I never installed it. We raffled it off on public access.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So I don't remember who won it, but
Victoria Diana.
Yeah.
She just
Oh,
moved in with her
Lord.
boyfriend. She's a comic. She's fucking stoked about the bidet. So that's all that matters. The bidet found a good home.
Hell yeah.
We had a raffle ticket rehoming fee for the bidet.
Hell yeah, you guys. I think this is the best time to get this comedy show on and popping. Are you guys ready to get hell yeah? Fucking whoever's posting that. Black Lives Matter for fucking sure. Abso-fucking-lutely. Hell yeah. All right, so we're going to get the comedy show on and popping. I think we got all the Zoom hecklers out. We are ready to rock and roll. We actually have a treat like we do sometimes. Your headliner is first. Are you guys ready for your headliner first? Oh, shit. This is his third time on one of our shows. He is absolutely hilarious. He has credits up the wazoo. I don't have to say anything more. Guys, just start slapping that goddamn meat together right now for Myq Kaplan, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for slapping your meat together. I particularly like ham. Is it ham slapping your ham hands together? That's already you're all made of meat, and your name is meat. And I'm happy to be here. Always happy. It's always a pleasure. What a weird pleasure it's been so far. If anyone has any questions or ideas or things to add during my set, feel free to type them into the chat and I'll happily engage with them rather than having a noisy free-for-all. Like, I always feel like that's a thing as a comedian. Sometimes, like, when I'm watching other people on stage, I'll think about wanting to say things, but I don't want to interrupt their set, so I'll write them down. And if I know the person, then I will tell them later after I wrote it down, or I'll text it to them. But I kind of want, if people have that idea for me, like have like a pad and paper during a comedy set, and just, if you have a great heckle, a great comeback, a great addition, a great tag, a better punchline than I have, and you want me to know it, you want me to know how great you are, that's the thing. Here's the sentence that I'm coming to that I didn't plan, but here it is. If you are at my show and you want me to know how great you are or how much better than me you are, then write down your better idea and give it to me later after the show. And then if it is better, I'll tell you so. And if you tell it to me during my show, interrupting my show, then that is not better than me, because it's better to not do that. So thank you for that. Is my introductory, I guess that's like a preface. I don't know if that's a thing that comedians often have, a preface. Also, it's occurring to me, I have a good friend named Matty Litwack, M-A-T-T-Y, Litwack. He is lit and he is whack. His name is Litwack. And I believe he has a joke about the beginning of his set being either the preface or the prologue to the rest of his set. I just stumbled into it, accidentally, want to give complete credit where credit is due. So that's the bibliography for my set so far. I'm citing my sources. Another comedian who talks about citing sources is Gary Goldman. These people are both Jews, and Jews I've learned are big on citing sources. In fact, if you look at the Talmud, it's all full of rabbis citing other rabbis, citing other rabbis. It's essentially, if you're not familiar with the Talmud is basically rabbi inception. It's just citations upon citations of rabbis within rabbis. It's like you can go down a real rabbi hole with the Talmud, if you will. Never thought of that before. What a delight it is to be here. By the way, I know all that I know about the Talmud, mostly from my friend Zach Sherwin, another Jew. I know people who aren't Jews, but I guess they don't tell me things that are as memorable as the non-Jews. So, step up your game, non-Jews, and tell me some stuff that I want to cite, and then I will cite it. Otherwise, it's like, I'm not trying to favor the Jews, but I am choosing the chosen. So, they are chosen right now by me. Here's another thing from the Talmud that I'll offer you is there's a rabbi named Zusha. I believe it's Zusha, probably a different spelling at one point in the past in a different language. Rabbi Zusha, here's a story about him. He said to his followers or to his friends, or he just wrote it down, I don't even know. But he said it to me. Why not? Through the Talmud, eventually time travel into the future style. Zusha said, I'm not worried that when I die, that God will judge me by saying, why weren't you more like Abraham? Why weren't you more like Moses? He said, I am concerned. I'm worried that God will say, he will judge me by saying, why weren't you, Zusha, more like Zusha? And I was like, boom. My mind blew so much that my hand appeared out of nowhere, then disappeared again in space. And I was like, wow, that's, of course, the message is, I want to be just like Zusha. That's all I want to be like. I want to be not like Moses or Abraham, those jerks, those dipshits, I want to be like Zusha. It's funny because I don't know if you're familiar with the old I want to be like Myq. If I could be like Myq, my name is Myq, and I want to be like Zusha. And I have a new idea for Life cereal, a commercial starring Zusha. Zusha likes it. Zushi. Ooh, Zushi is also the sushi that Zusha eats. Zusha sushi. It was hard to say, and I give myself a lot of credit for it. So, here's what I want to respond to next in Brian and Ham and Brian's intro. I liked when the question of what's the worst way to die. I want to offer also what's the best way to live. How about that? And I think here's what I think the best way to live is. One way. There's a lot of great ways to live, but when instead of saying what's the best way to die or the worst way to die, interesting. The best way and the worst way, sometimes they could be the same. Like, I think the best way to die is to not, or to do it, when you want to. Yeah. Oh, my favorite way to die is to keep living. My favorite way to die is on stage. And I would say my favorite way to die is off stage, eventually, not now. And the best way to live is to kill on stage, not off stage. No murdering, please. I will say, I have a joke about slaughter in a minute, but I do want to say some people say, what's the worst way to die? I say, what's the best way to live? And I think the best way to live is to not think all the time about the worst way to die. That's all I would say is occasionally think about other ways of living that don't include thinking about dying. But I have been studying Buddhism recently with a friend of mine who is a practicing Buddhist. And so my friend is practicing Buddhism, and do you know how you get to enlightenment is practice, 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 but a lot more than 3 times. And one of the things about Buddhism is that death is what you think about it a lot. You know that it exists. You know that impermanence exists. You know that the ultimate change is death. And the reason that it's good to think about death as much as they do in Buddhism is that it helps you live. It's like you can't close a parenthesis without opening a parenthesis. You can't, if you never truly live unless you open and close various parentheses, which is an analogy, I think, to suffering and then transcending suffering, or at least, becoming unattached from suffering. Are we still doing comedy? We're doing great. So next joke is about the slaughter rule in what is it, like Little League? Is that a thing that you've heard of? The slaughter rule? Yeah, like basically if you play and like there's two teams in Little League that are vastly one is outmatches the other. What if they both outmatch each other? They're both so bad that they're both getting slaughtered. That would be amazing. But like one team is like 20-0 in just like 2 innings. Like they'll be like, okay, I don't know if they'll end the whole game or they'll be like, look, let's just end that inning for now. That is the slaughter rule. We don't want one team to like not literally, figuratively slaughter we don't want them to literally slaughter the team either, but we definitely don't want them to literally nor figuratively slaughter the other team. And I feel like that's what a rule we should have with the economy as well. Like if you make $1 billion, like that's when the economic slaughter rule comes into effect and we're like, okay, we're just gonna stop now and start over. You won this inning, now give back all the money and let everybody start from scratch again, and if you don't, then we're going to literally slaughter you. So I think maybe if they get up to like 900 million, then be like, okay, that's a warning. Now unless you have in a month, you got to give away 10%. And look, because if you can live on 900 million, you can live on 800 million. That's I'm not here to drop a lot of controversial truth bombs, but that's just something that I believe is like, I believe $75,000 is the number beyond which everyone could have, all their needs met for a year. So I think if you can live on 900 billion, I'm going to say try living on 800 billion. And that means you could give away $100 billion. I'm sorry, this is millions as well. 900, it works for millions as well. It's so weird that million and billion they sound so similar, but are so different also. Did you guys see that? Like I saw a post about the difference between million and billion. We're like, it's like in our minds, it's one after the other. It's like, oh, first you count up to 1 million, then you go to billion. But I saw this meme, which is very different than a beam, right? I smiled a lot. This meme made me beam. All right, so meme beam. Here's the thing. The meme said like 1 million seconds, I think is 12 minutes. 12 days. 1 million seconds is 12 days, I believe, about. And 1 billion seconds is about 32 years. So we're like, yeah, same thing, 12 days, 32 years, million, billion, what's the difference? And that's why like millionaires don't have to be slaughtered, and billionaires, look, I'm a pacifist. I want no one to be slaughtered. So billionaires, just give away your money once you get to 900 million. And we're getting in the chat, 1 million seconds is 11 days, 13 hours, 46 minutes, and 40 seconds, or rounded to the nearest day, 12 days, like I said. I'm not here to thank you for not correcting me, but thank you for getting more specific. I appreciate that. Sometimes I like just wondering, even when, here's the thing, like sometimes you can wonder about a thing that you don't know the answer to and couldn't know the answer to. Sometimes it's fun to wonder about a thing that you could know the answer to, but just are lazy. So this is an example of the latter. An example of the former is, I did a show the other day, and the host was a comedian named Steve Rogers, and he's a very funny comedian, and he is not Captain America. Yes, he is a real life person, not a fictional character. On Twitter, you can follow him at not Steve Rogers, because his name is Steven Rogers. And so he was hosting, and then the next comedian who went up was named Adam Mamawala. And he is also a funny comedian that I recommend following. They're both very funny. They're friends of mine. And it occurred to me on stage that their names are Adam and Steve. And so I had the pleasure of saying, hey, it's my turn, not Adam and Steve. And then I wondered a thing that I don't know. The answer exists, but I don't know if we could ever know how many couples are there, or how many couples have there ever been whose names are Adam and Steve. Has anyone ever met a gay male couple, or a straight male couple, or a couple of non-binary people, or a couple of women named Adam and Steve? I would love to know. So Brianna in the chat, who did my fact checking for the number of seconds, if you could real quick check on how many Adams and Steves there are in a relationship, I would love to know. and whoever else was making noise, if you're making noise in your home, please put the noise in the chat. A lot of times you have the host say, make some noise. I would love for the noise to be in the chat. I would love for everyone's applause. I like laughter's fun out loud, and applause, why not do the American Sign Language equivalent of applause, which kind of also looks like that. Thank you, Eric Pumpkins, for the noise. That was some noise in the chat. I think it's almost time for me to stop being a comedian here. So I think that means that it's time for me to start being a comedian here, because if I want to close the parenthesis, I have to open the parenthesis. And I'm what you might call a parentha bro. I am a parentha sib of any gender. So here's the thing. I guess, I don't know if this is a joke, but it's a thing that I like, and I'm going to say it to you, is do you know, I hope that this offers some information, if not humor. But you know how if your child, you could have a son, you could have a daughter, you could have a non-binary child, and you could call any of them a child. A child is a gender-neutral way to refer to if it's your child, your son, daughter, or non-binary child. And then same thing with parent. You could have a male parent, a female parent, or any other gender parent, and you can call them a parent. And here's the thing. Do you know that nieces and nephews, the word that means either niece, nephew, or other gender, is nibbling? Did you know? Like a niece, nephew, sibling, nibbling is a word. You can look it up. I didn't make it up. But one that I did make up is that they didn't have one for aunt and uncle. I'm like, what is it? Ankle or aunt? You know what I mean? Like neither of those sound great. Those are both things that sound like other words. So I came up with it is pibbling, is a parent sibling. And so your aunts and uncles are your pibblings, your non-binary pibblings, whatever you want. And it also works if you want to drink a little bit of Dr. Pepper or a little Mr. Pibbling. So, and that is officially the comedy. That's unofficially. That was the official comedy. Now this is the unofficial comedy ending. It's always a pleasure. Great to be here. I think when the headliner goes first, I would call myself the footliner. So this has been a wonderful footlining set. You've been wonderful. Enjoy the rest of the show. I hope nobody takes it over and destroys it.
Hell yeah, guys, make some noise for Myq Kaplan, everyone. Yeah. I'm gonna do a quick screen share right here. You can go to MyqKaplan.com for all things Myq Kaplan. He's got a bunch of podcasts, Broccoli and Ice Cream. He's got a new one called The Faucet. He's got a new album out called AKA. It's super fucking hilarious. So go to MyqKaplan.com for all things Myq Kaplan. Don't forget, you can send donations to Ham and I on Venmo at Daddy Woke, all one word, or at Ham Clancy. All the donations tonight go to the performers, you guys. All right, so enough with that sappy shit. You guys, let's just keep this comedy train fucking chugging along. You guys ready for your next comedian? If the first one was the footliner, I don't know what this one makes it. We're at the belly of the set. You guys ready for your belly comedian? I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. All right, you guys, your next comedian. He is absolutely hilarious, you guys. Start slapping that gosh darn meat together for Joe Gorman, everyone!
Shit, what's going on, everybody? It's Saturday. Oh my God, it's Saturday night. Yo, live from New York. It's a man in his room. Isn't that exciting? This fun, man. You know, when this epidemic hit and all the comics were freaking out, they're like, comedy clubs closing. No gatherings of people. How are people gonna pay attention to me? And then some nerd invented Zoom, and look at this brave new world we're in, man. People are paying attention to me. Dude, this is all the joys of doing stand-up comedy and none of the obligation to wear pants or make eye contact. Sign me up. This is a brave new world. And it's cool, man. Like I said hilariously early on, I am from New York City, former comedy capital of the world turned desolate wasteland because of COVID-19. So I get to pay $1,200 a month to sit in a room and yell into a webcam, which I could theoretically do anywhere else in the world for far cheaper. But you know what? It's the city that never sleeps. Sorry, that's the old phrase. Now it's the city that will never wake up. Oh, fucking scary, huh? Y'all got goosebumps? Relax, kids. I got ya. We're gonna have fun, man. You gotta focus on the positive. Like, here's some cool stuff. New York, Black Lives Matter Central. All right, it's been great. There's been protests. There's been all of these big lectures. I've been going to all of them. I've been supporting as much as I can. I give all of my paycheck to the movement, and I even went so far. I even tore down a statue, folks. That's right. Later on, I found out it was a statue of Frederick Douglass. Oops, I fucking goofed, man. But you know, my heart was in the right place, and I hope they can forgive me. Yikes, man. We're just trying to figure this stuff out, man. Yo, I found out like this thing's been going around where people are doing online dating during the pandemic. I'm a fucking loser, man. Like, I was having a hard time dating before, and then like the epidemic hit, and I was like, ha 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 ha. Finally, welcome to my world of being isolated and alone on the computer for 14 hours a day. And now people are like doing like, oh, I do online Zoom dating. I'm like, well, I guess I'm just a big dork. I guess I'm just a big loser that can't even connect. I'll be on the dating app saying, I would like to talk to you through Zoom for 10 minutes. And people are like, I don't think so, man. Not happening. But that's okay. I'm having a good time. I'm an essential employee. I don't know if anyone else is doing that. And you know what? If you are, fucking sorry, man. I feel bad. I'm an essential employee. It sucks, man. I remember like the first week they were telling us we were still gonna work. They were trying to make it seem like, oh, guess what? You're the new generation's first responders. Good on you. What a hero. And then people were like banging pots and pans together out of their window, making us feel honorable. And then everyone got mad at the government and they stopped cheering at 7 p.m. But I still have to go to work. It sucks, man. I rearranged my entire room because what else are you going to do? I've rearranged it 8 times during this quarantine. I moved my webcam around a little bit. So this is like the new angle where I'm doing, like, this is where the comedy happens. It makes me look cool. I got posters on the wall. I got these incredible chili pepper lights. Let's fucking rock. Sometimes I'll be doing like Zoom shows. And honestly, my favorite thing about the Zoom shows is being able to see comedians' apartments. Like Michael Clary, he's living like Frasier, man. He's got leather-bound chairs. That's crazy. I'm listening to what he has to say with intent. All right, because sometimes these comics are like, we gotta overthrow the government, man. We gotta defund the police, and they got a fucking Pokemon poster on their wall. It's like, all right, dude, you're telling me Raichu is Antifa? Raichu is the fascist Pokemon. Come on, why do you think Pikachu didn't want to evolve? Ha! Surprise, surprise. The 30-something-year-old man alone in his room has a passing knowledge of Pokemon. Woo, man, that was cool. Listen, if anyone is on Pokemon Go, let me know. We'll fucking battle. We'll hang out, man. We'll get fucking real, dude. That's what's going on. I love it. So part of being an essential worker, I have to have all these fucking Zoom meetings. Dumb, man. I feel I hate that shit. And I hate I hate looking at my coworkers normally, but from the before time, I hate them just as much on Zoom, man. Like, they don't have funny backgrounds. They don't fucking kick it like comics, man. The only thing I got good at for Zoom meetings is turning off the webcam when I take a fucking bong rip, baby. How about that? Fucking 420, 24/7 in this brave new world. If you're not getting high or getting fucked up to some level, yikes. How can you? People are dying, man. And you're just soullessly facing that with sobriety. Not me, man. I'm getting high in solidarity for those courageous people who have passed on, man. But so one time I was doing a Zoom work meeting because somebody in my office fucked up paperwork, left out a comma, cost the company thousands. My boss calls an emergency Zoom meeting of everyone in my team, and he's just yelling at us, and he's ripping into us and just like saying like, oh, you guys are incompetent. I could replace you in a heartbeat. You're just lucky there's this pandemic that's keeping us where we are right now. But while he was yelling at me, very clearly in the background on his nightstand, I could see freshly used anal beads. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine being so bad at your job, your boss in a fit of rage rips out his anal beads, nonchalantly tosses them over his shoulder, and then calls an emergency Zoom meeting to chew you out during a pandemic? Have a heart, dude. Go a couple more balls in and unwind, man. It's money. It's a man-made resource. The value is only what society puts on it. Crazy, huh? Nobody talks about it, but that's a real thing. It's all make-believe. Yo, what if, as I say this, I get assassinated? That they're like, oh, this fucking Zoom comedian is onto something. He's getting too deep. Fucking, that would be scary. What if I just signed my own will with that riff? Well, you know what? So be it, folks. That's the way I stand by my courageous statement. It's called being a hero. And hey, speaking of a hero, I'm gonna tell you one more incredible story before I go back to the hospital, where I'm actually supposed to be on duty right now. I'm a doctor, but they offered me this spot on a comedy show, and yo, this may be in huge violation of my Hippocratic oath, but it is the truth. Laughter is the best form of medicine, okay? I'm a medical doctor. This is the only thing that can beat the virus, folks. And then that's Dr. Joe Gorman saying that, okay? Look it up. I'm the only open heart surgeon comedian, all right? I also know brain surgery. But I'm a humble guy, so I'm up here and I'm just talking about my living situation and my somewhat passing knowledge of Pokemon. But yeah, I can tell you how to save a human life, but I'm not gonna. All right, I gotta have a little thing called job security in case my role as an incredible stand-up comedian doesn't work out. But folks, let me tell you something. As a doctor, as a legal medical doctor, I have to get tested for COVID-19 once a week because I'm always like putting my hands in people and stuff legally. All right. They're like, oh, save me, Dr. Gorman. And I'm like, fuck it. All right. I'll save your fucking life because I'm a chill fucking dude. You know, I'm getting tested for COVID-19. And I don't know if you guys know how to do this, and I'll explain it into layman's terms. Okay. Basically, they have this big, long Q-tip and they stick it up your nose far deeper than any finger could ever possibly go. So I'm in the room. I'm getting tested. The nurse is putting the Q-tip up my nose. While she's putting that Q-tip up my nose, a little ball of cocaine falls out. Oops. Man, I felt like Hugh Grant in a romantic comedy. I was like, oh my, what's this? How could this happen? You know, being all charming and whatnot. And, you know, people always assume the worst. You know, you see all this stuff going on with the pandemic. You see like, you know, an 80-year-old man gets his head bashed in so some young people can steal toilet paper at a Target. Horrible thing. So you're thinking, damn, chivalry's dead. What happened next? I'll tell you. I let her keep the cocaine. How about that? It's called being a gentleman, all right? And she appreciated, you know? She has to give out all these tests constantly. She's risking her health. It meant the world to her. She dumped in a little rubbing alcohol, popped it in her mouth. She felt great, and I felt good too. I did something great. I paid it forward, and I hope throughout this set, you guys are like, you know what? I'm going to pay it forward too. And that's all I ask. If you can't donate, then pay it forward and be a good person and help out when you can. Oh, what an inspirational thing to end on. How incredible. I hope a fucking bird lands on my shoulder or something to show how in tune with nature and what a genuinely pure soul I have. But that's for the history books to decide. Thanks, everybody.
Hell yeah. Guys, make some noise for Joe Gorman, everyone. Hell yeah. I think Honestly, I agree with Joe. Cocaine's the best drug there is. It really is. It's the only drug you can like go out, do it, make a best friend that night, and think you could start a small business together. You know what I'm saying? It's the only drug that gives you confidence like that. I love that shit. I wish I had it at any point during COVID. No, it doesn't matter. I don't know. I wish I had anything topical to talk about. You know what? I do have one story of like shit that's been going on. This is just new. Guys, can I get a little personal with them? All right, fine. Guys, the other day I had to get Ham some tampons, and yeah, we're gonna get into it. This is a guy buying tampons joke. Here we go. Hot take. I pushed the wrong button. Doesn't matter. No, we live in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. We live in Salem, Connecticut. There's nothing around. And it was like the wee hours of the morning and shit. So the only thing is this gas station up the road, and I don't know anything about it, but I don't care. I went to go get them, and they're what limited selection they have. I pick something out, and I bring it up to the cashier, and the cashier, she looks at him, she just goes, "Cardboard applicators. I hate those." And I didn't know what any of that meant. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, there's cardboard applicators and there's plastic applicators. And I was like, holy shit, I'm learning so much right now. Like, first of all, I didn't know it was like a Flintstones push pop. That's fucking crazy. And then so I was like, okay, do you have plastic applicators then? And she just looks at me and is like, no. I'm like, then why the fuck would you bring it up other than just make me feel shitty about my gas station purchases?
Well, luckily, Brian went to the pharmacy, but there's like a 24-hour pharmacy that's in the next town over. So
yeah,
he was being shamed at the Henny Penny gas station. I will drop the full government of the gas station.
I was shamed.
I ain't scared of nothing. But he left the Henny Penny. He goes like to the next town over to this pharmacy, and he gets tampons and brings them home. And it was something I've never seen before. They did have a plastic applicator, but on the box it said organic tampons.
What? That sounds good. I don't know.
What in the Subaru Forester fuck is an organic tampon? Can someone please explain this shit to me? Like a mare was just like trotting down the road and you like clipped its mane and then braided it and put it in a tube and just handed it to me. Like, what is an organic tampon? And it has a plastic applicator. So like, what point are you trying to prove? I'm not making the switch. Like what? If I don't get organic tampons, Al Gore's not going to slide down my solar panels to bring me presents on Earth Day. Get the fuck out of here with this shit. $8.99 a box. Get bent. Always. That was the brand. Always. I'm coming for you.
I actually have a new business model. I think I'm just going to cut off some of these dreads and start selling organic tampons.
Organic tampons.
I think we got a new business model, you guys. All right. Let's get on. Let's get to our final comedian because I got a business. I got a Wix website to start, you guys. All right. Are you guys ready for your final comedian? Dare I say it? Your other headliner? I don't know how the fuck this is working. Your head footer? I don't know what the opposite is. All right, now this comedian is absolutely hilarious all the way from North Carolina. Guys, that thunderous meat slap we've been doing the whole show, start doing it again for your final comedian, Myq Kaplan.
Hey guys, I love that I get to start off a comedy set with, hey, can you guys let my friend Jeff into the Zoom room? That's our actual opener. He's having a hard time getting in. His girlfriend Carrie may be coming on her iPhone. That's my actual opener. Like it's also true.
We let everyone in, but then the Zoomers tried to re-add. Maybe we removed them by accident.
We may have done that.
We may have done that. I did not mean to. If I did,
oh
no, hold on. I think
Carrie Selby.
There you go. Yep.
Nice. All right. Coming in hot.
We got your friend in here. I would have felt so bad if I was like, fuck them by accident. You know?
I understand. For anyone who missed it, there was Zoom bombing earlier. I've never seen like an official Zoom bomb, but it was kind of like weird Zoom bombs. Like someone said like, hey man, you won the ultimate frisbee tournament today, and I was like one of Brian's friends give him a shout out. Like that's pretty fucking cool. Yeah, people still playing ultimate frisbee, but like Brian fucking won something today, and I realized it was like mean, and I was like, I want to come in and like Zoom bomb nice things, just be like, you guys look like fun people to smoke weed with. Can I take you guys to a fish show sometime? Bombs. But I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be able to headline this show. Keep it going. Take your hands off. Take your hands off mute for Eric Gorman, for Myq Kaplan. Myq Kaplan's got some real potential. I was giving some advice earlier, saying, "Hey, here's how you do it, man. One day you might be like me, headlining these Zoom shows." And but hey, do you guys like music?
Yeah.
I don't have a bit. There's no punchline. I'm trying to connect with people. That's it. I also like want to pose that question for like one day there's some guy out there who's like, fucking music? Nah, dude, fuck that shit, man. Fuck music. I don't listen to music. That shit that makes you feel good on a down day, like it makes you want to fucking dance instead of slitting your wrist. Nah, dude, I'm good on that. I'm good. Nah. I'll wear headphones to block out the music. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. All right, well that bit's over. But I love music. I'm a musician. I want to talk about my favorite musician / motivational speaker / plus size model / rapper / ebony goddess known as Lizzo. I love Lizzo as much as the next basic middle-aged white guy trying to be hip AF. Am I right, fam? But I love Lizzo, and I actually like I didn't know about Lizzo, but someone very close to me turned me on to Lizzo, and that's my daughter, my 4-year-old daughter, and like that's a bit of a jump on the old Spotify playlist, you know. Baby shark do 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 do. Baby shark do 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 do. To are you home, boy? Are you alone, boy? Pick up your phone, boy. Dome, boy. Is that everyone's Discover Weekly? Or just my 4-year-old daughter? You know, like you listen to now that's or Kids Bop 347 and Frozen 2. You might like NWA Straight Outta Compton. Not appropriate, you know. But I'm kind of like I want her to keep listening to Lizzo because that message of female empowerment and like loving yourself no matter what anybody else thinks, that's a good message. But I'm also waiting for the phone call from the director of her daycare center. Mr. Claire, look, we love Nora, great kid. Yeah, you guys are doing really well. At the same time, she has been walking around a lot of bad bitch this, bad bitch that lately. And just the other day, she went up to Skylar Rain on the playground and told Day, I know that you a freak too. I just want to freak you. Do you know where she's getting this from, Mr. Clay? Like, what can I say? My sweet little poopsie is 100% that bitch. I am from Asheville, North Carolina, so that's like the nod to like we do. There is a non-binary 4-year-old in my child's preschool named Skylar Rain. That's how we roll here in Asheville, y'all. 2020, what up? But I also love it when my daughter says something terrible, and like I know it's bad. Everyone around us in public when she says it knows it's bad, but she has no idea. That happened just the other day when this bit was written 10 months ago. We were swimming in a pool, and she wanted to play the childhood game Ring Around the Roses. The two of us in the pool. I don't know. But she didn't know how to say it properly, and so she called the game Pocket Full of Posies, but she couldn't pronounce it. So she's sitting there going like she got the most of the first word right, like the root word solid. Skipped over the suffix. The middle part completely left out. But the ending, she got most of the consonants, flipped the vowel sound. So she's in the pool around all these people going, Daddy, I want pocket pussy. Daddy, I want pocket pussy. And like, what do you say in that moment to the mom who's staring you down, whose kids are playing Marco Polo while your kid's talking about sex toys? Like, Marco Polo, Marco, I want pocket pussy. You know, how do you? Can we borrow the noodle, the pool noodle? Like maybe you have SPF 15 for a quick demo. You know, like, but no, I looked at her. I'm like, you haven't heard the new Lizzo song, Pocket Pussy, featuring Justin Bieber and Little DaBaby, whatever. Pocket pussy. I want that pocket pussy. Come on, don't leave me like that, Karen. So that's my daughter, and I'm gonna share with you guys at this point a piece of advice that I received from one of the greatest people I've ever known in my life, and that's my grandpa, James Clare. And he told me this piece of advice the day before my first day on my first ever job when I was 14, working at McDonald's. And the piece of advice he gave me was, don't spend all your time in the bathroom jerking off. Like, he could have given me this advice, you know, walking around his farm like we used to do, or like one of those nice country back roads drives that we enjoyed together. But he chose the moment to tell me that at the dinner table, surrounded by my dad, mom, and 10-year-old sister. And like, but the weird thing that kind of stuck out was the word all. Like, don't spend all your time, which means to imply that a 14-year-old should be spending some of their time jerking off on the job at their first day at McDonald's. Like, you know, like just not all of the time. So in like the course of a 6-hour shift, right? I'm working 6 hours. All my time is 6 hours. But like, that leaves a pretty big window of 1 minute to 5 hours and 59 minutes. You know, like, which may be the best job ever for a 14-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
But he also didn't tell me like which bathroom, like the one in the lobby, like the one by the manager's office, like the family bathroom. No, he left those stones unturned. He left that for me to discover when it was my time to discover it. After all, he was a great man. He fought in Normandy, had 6 kids, 13 grandkids. And that was the exact thought running through my head during my lunch break as I jerked off behind the dumpster of McDonald's like a hygienic McDonald's employee on their first ever day at their first. Guys, look, we've laughed. We've laughed. Did we change the world with some Lizzo jokes? Yeah, I think we did, probably. Let's go with yeah. But did a male comic do jerk off material? Of fucking course. Yeah, like what else? But I don't want to be like that comic. I don't want to be one of those comics who like has a bit that goes nowhere and just ends with them like jerking off behind McDonald's dumpster or something. Like no one walks away from that bit a better person. Like no one has changed for the better from that. And I want to be one of those comics who has material that has depth and emotion, heart and soul. So at that, I'm gonna leave you with a story that I hope the words I have to say now affect you in the way that my grandpa's words affected me when I was 14. And the story revolves around the Guns N' Roses classic, November Rain. And this happened 3 Novembers ago. I was in my car, and the song November Rain came on the radio. And at that time in my life, a lot of things weren't going well. There was a lot of confusion, uncertainty, and things that I really don't want to get into. But as the song played on the radio, the November rain like came down from the skies as they opened up. And all of a sudden, like, the song was playing, the rain was pouring down, and the tears started to flow. And honestly, it was probably heavier than the rain that night. And a lot of the anxiety and depression and like self-loathing that I'd carried with me my whole life in that moment started to wash away. And by the time Slash got to the 3 or 4 guitar solos, things started to make sense. And the words rang out, "Don't you know you need somebody? Don't you know you need someone? You're not the only one. You're not the only one." At that moment, I had like, epiphany, things kind of clicked. And I turned down the car stereo and said to myself out loud, what the fuck am I doing jerking off in a Taco Bell parking lot? Especially when there's a perfectly good McDonald's across the way with a barely visible dumpster. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah. Michael, Claire, everyone. How about you slap some McMeat together for Michael, Claire, everyone. You know what's funny?
Yeah.
He's a big McDonald's fan, clearly. I also like McDonald's. I think McDonald's is my favorite of the 3. And you all know what 3 I'm talking about. And McDonald's is the best one, too, in my opinion. And McDonald's is just a bathroom that sells cheeseburgers. And that's all it really is. You work there, you can verify it. I've pooped there more than I've eaten there.
You always say you don't always eat at McDonald's, but you definitely always shit at McDonald's.
Or jerk off, I guess. Hell yeah.
Ryan one time looked at me while going into a McDonald's and said, "I'm about to take a dump that would make a trucker blush." And it's still one of the funniest sentences that's ever rung in my ears. But you guys, I was hoping, since we still have Joe and Michael Claire in here, I was hoping that maybe they'd want to oblige us in true meat slap fashion and close the show off with a few riffs from the Riff Bowl. What do you think?
Shit.
Hell yeah. So Brian and I will start so the audience knows what's going on. What we're going to do is we're going to pull a topic out of this here Riff Bowl. And normally when we do that, everyone yells Riff Bowl. So we know they know it's time for the Riff Bowl. And then in the Riff Bowl, there are riffs, and that's what you do with them. You get a jumping off point, and then you do a joke based on whatever is on that slip of paper. So we will start, and then we'll throw it to Joe, and then we'll throw it to Michael, and if it's going well, maybe we'll do a round or two. Maybe
we'll do a couple of them. This is how we like to do it to close our shows. Now we've been doing it live when we're doing the yard shows. You can check out the Get On My Lawn shows with that shit. But also, guys, remember, donations go to the performers. You can send donations on Venmo at Daddy Woke, all one word, at Ham Clancy, all one word. PayPal, bbarg420@gmail.com. What is it? Cash App, $bbarg420. I got all that shit, but we'll do a few riffs to close it out proper. While we pass the hat, so to speak, while we virtually pass the hat.
Hell yeah. Okay, so our riff from the Riff Bowl is... Let's see what we got. This is so us because we watched this shit. It's 90 Day Fiance, but different states, not countries.
Oh my god.
I love this so much because on 90 Day Fiance, a lot of the times the people, they don't speak the same language and their only communication is through a text app, even when they're in person. They'll text what they're thinking and then the phone will say it in the language that someone else can understand. And I can only imagine somebody from Alabama trying to talk to their fiance in Jersey, just not understanding at all what is going on because of the language
Well,
barrier.
I travel a lot, and when I go down south, I have like a heavy New England accent. And they always comment that I have like a heavy accent. They'll be like, "Y'all want to come over for grits and gravy? Meemaw's gonna make some fucking whatever." And then they'll be like, "You have a crazy accent, though." I'll be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
I'm from New York, and even I like Connecticut and New York touch, and so do Brian and I. And when Brian one time was trying to romance me, he said to me one time, he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make dinner, and then I'll draw you a hot bath." A hot bath.
I do not.
It was not sexy. It was the opposite of sexy.
It's way more nasally than that. I don't sound like a dumpster at a truck stop.
I love that. But like, what would be the worst like matchup for states? 90 Day Fiance, but different states. What would be like the worst couple you could think of?
God, it gotta be like
Mississippi and California.
Yeah, I was gonna say somewhere like super liberal, and then like the most backwoods, like a guy with a Trump sign and a crossbow, just like like so whoever's the governor of like Alabama, and then
a woman, Kay Ivey.
Goddamn Oregon.
Yeah.
I said Midwest and Florida. I think anyone with Florida would be like that. I don't even understand what language they're speaking right now.
That'd be such a culture shock. Like if you came.
Georgia and Washington.
What's that?
Georgia and Washington.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
There's not, like you can't relate. Washington State is a rainforest basically with a big volcano and lots of I don't know, lots of passion for universal health care. I'm about it. That kind of sounds like my place. Georgia, on the other hand.
You know what I just thought of? How about Washington State and Washington D.C.?
Ooh.
What do the comics think? What do Michael? What do Joe think? What do they?
Yeah, 90 Day
Are
Fiance.
you familiar with the show, or just
Little
K1
bit.
visas in general?
You know, it's about falling in love or hoping to fall in love. So I would say somewhere like I would say Vermont and Florida.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only thing they agree on is guns. That's
Yeah.
it. That's the only thing they could bond over. You like guns? I love guns. All right, baby. I'm gonna put a shotgun shell on it. You are now my fiance. Yo, that's like I don't get it because like as a white trash person, like we are just a perpetually engaged people. You never meet a white trash person who's married, but you always know one who has a fiance. That's a fact.
It's literally apples and oranges, Vermont and Florida.
Vermont and Florida would be some crazy like 90 Day Fiance type
Yeah.
shit.
Seriously, that'd be wild. That was a solid riff. Joe, you ready for a riff from the Riff Bowl?
I'm incredibly nervous, but yes.
All
Let's do
right,
it.
don't be
On the
nervous.
spot.
The pressure.
Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go.
Show on, bang.
All right, Joe Gorman, your riff from the Riff Bowl is a business you'd never want to be curbside.
Oh my. Damn, dude. What is there's so many business. I mean, of course, like I was thinking of like a brothel, but there was that whole woman when Julia Roberts comes up to Richard Gere's car, so that's curbside. So actually, if anything, prostitution was ahead of the curve before all of this stuff, because people you have to have a nice car, according to Grand Theft Auto, where they were like, all right, if you want to have sex with a prostitute, you have to have a nice car. So clearly, that's out of the game, the oldest profession. So I guess like, you know, what's what in the end, like what's something you don't want to do in your car? And what is something that is not currently available? You see, this is the writing process right now. I would say fucking surgery. Clearly, like, you know, and I'm sure like there's people that are open to that idea because they're like, oh, I have a hernia and I don't want to go to the fucking doctor and get surgery because I don't want to get fucking COVID from some fucking nutter, you know? I just gotta like fucking blow my hernia back. So I'm guessing like people aren't gonna want to do surgery or fucking give their child a circumcision. Well, they shouldn't give their children circumcisions anyway, but they absolutely shouldn't do that in a car. So I guess anything involving either a life-saving procedure or an aesthetic surgery for your child's penis, don't do it in a car. And you really shouldn't circumcise your kid anyway. I read a pamphlet about it, and like I realized I wasn't going to be able to come as hard. I got bummed, dude. What a bummer. Why would my parents do that? Let me bust a nut regular, like. Don't handicap me out of the gate. Damn, dude, that sucks. Man, I got sad. What a sad riff bowl, but necessary.
It was an absolutely necessary riff bowl. Holy shit, I loved that.
Absolutely. Fantastic.
Oh my god.
So,
Sounded
Michael,
like a
do you want to
drive-
weigh in on the curbside, or do you want a new riff from the riff bowl?
You know, I want to weigh on the fact that Joe referenced my all-time favorite movie. This is not a bit. I saw Pretty Woman at age 14. And for 25 years, it remains my all-time favorite movie. There's nothing funny about like being a hardcore Pretty Woman fan, but that's pretty much it. Like, and I'll tell you right now that movie's a fucking classic. Blockbuster always questioned me and my sister renting it. They'd call my mom and dad, like, "Are you sure you want your kids watching Pretty Woman?" They're like, "Yeah, it's their favorite movie." Nothing's changed in 25 years, but. I mean, I can keep going on Pretty Woman. Give me something, I'll tie it into Pretty Woman. Let's do that.
All right, perfect. Your Pretty Woman riff from the riff bowl.
Isn't Pretty Woman just a remake of My Fair Lady, which is just a remake of Pygmalion?
Dude, I'm not that intelligent. I don't try to look that in depth. But when Richard Gere and Julia Roberts share the screen together, it is fucking magic. That's all my brain comprehends.
All right, Michael Clare. Let's see what kind of magic you can create with this. Oh boy. I don't know how you're gonna do it. A sport you are extra terrible at.
A sport I'm extra terrible at. I would have to say, this is a great term, slalom skiing. I'm terrible at slalom skiing. Like any sport that you have a hard time pronouncing, it's going to be a difficult sport. And the way slalom skiing works, like I never learned how to ski on two skis, like, you know, water skiing. And so one day I said, hey, you know, I can't do two. Let's try one. Let's do slalom skiing. It's kind of being like, hey, I've never learned how to drive a car. Put me on a fucking motorcycle. Just send me down the road, see what happens. And if you've never skied and you're on a slalom, the way it works, you get dragged at a pretty high velocity along the top of a lake for as long as you can hold on. I don't know if that's the actual sport. I'm not sure if that's the official form, but that's pretty much how I ended up doing it. I'll just go with that.
I fucking loved that. That was an amazing riff. It had like a new thing I didn't even know. I thought you were saying spelunking wrong for a second. Like, that was fucking wild.
I learned something. You guys, let's do one more collective riff from the riff bowl. We'll do a little something. We'll throw it to Joe. We'll throw it to Michael Clare. We'll have a whole fucking shebang.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll even throw it to the other comics we're hanging out in here.
We got some cool audience members. We have audience members joining that have better mics than us. Like John Reynolds joined with like a full podcast setup. Like he's ready to go. Like, I don't even know. Let's get this riff bowl on and popping. Let's end this comedy show on as a bang as a community.
Let's see what we got. Okay, something I've never even done before. Cruises.
Oh my god.
Cruises.
I went on a cruise, but I was 12, so it sucked. That is just like the worst take. It's the worst age to do anything. You can't do it. You know, like you're like my parents didn't like trust me to like go off anywhere or do anything. I just went. There was a movie theater in the cruise ship. Like I was allowed to do anything in the cruise ship, but I'm like I can't go to a bar. I'm 12.
Not with that attitude.
I'm wearing. I have hair gel and a Hawaiian shirt. Like no one's letting me do shit, but letting me go see The Mexican in the movie theater. The Mexican with Brad Pitt. Yes.
You gelled this. You look like Danny McBride on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
I've never been on a cruise ship. I'm just a garbage can. Like for us, when I was growing up, like going on vacation just meant going to a nearby town that has a lake to borrow someone else's boat. That was the financial bracket I existed in. Never went on a cruise. Also, firm believer that if one person on the cruise ship gets sick, everyone is doomed. So I'm afraid of them. But I also, most cruise ships are like Disney centric. I've seen like it's just very like Disney oriented, or they go to Disney, and I'm very anti-Disney. I've never, even as a kid, was like ever into Disney shit. But like as an adult, I especially can't stand Disney adults. And I feel Bags is live streaming, and I have so many friends who fit description, but here we are on the internet, baby, and it never forgets. I already said it. Here's the thing. People who are like those Disney adults, like my biggest bugaboo is when they decide to go on a honeymoon at Disney without their kid. I hate that shit. Like, honestly, I hate it so much that I kind of just like hope and pray that they go on that ride with their new spouse. They go on that It's a Small World After All little boat ride through a tunnel and run into their ex just for the irony. It is a small world because all you weirdo Disney adults be dating each other because none of us normies are trying to fuck with you. And that's a fact. That is a fact. I've never been on a cruise ship. I don't do Disney shit. I don't know. So like I can't really weigh in. Joe Gorman, cruises. What do you got?
Hell yeah, man. Hey, let me tell you how I feel about that. People who go on cruises are people who deserve bruises, all right? I've never been on a fucking cruise ship before. I remember when like I was like a kid and 90s Nickelodeon was littered with Carnival cruise ads. Why was that on a children's program? Because they expect the kids to go and beg their parents to take them on a Carnival cruise ship. And it worked because I did that. And my parents were like, no, we don't have that kind of money. And then I find out when, as an older kid, like it's like, oh, Carnival or cruise ships are like a poor person vacation. Real people go to like destination vacations. And I was like, damn, dude, we were too poor to even go on a fucking poor person vacation. I thought we were eating breakfast for dinner because it was fun. And now it's like, damn, we're poor, dude. Being poor sucks, man. You know, I guess like if I ever become lucky and get a woman pregnant of us, put on your swim trunks, baby. We're going on a cruise ship. I'm taking you on a nice poor person vacation. And we're gonna go on the pool in the cruise ship. I always thought that was redundant because I was like, damn, if you're in a cruise ship, fucking jump overboard and go swimming in the water, right? Why are you going in a swimming pool? Fucking water everywhere. So fucking jump the fuck in. I believe that's the old phrase. And so I love the concept of a cruise ship. And someday I'll be a cruise ship comedian.
Hell
wow,
yeah.
it's good to have subpar dreams, Joe. I think you should aim higher than that. Higher than that.
I'm not even joking about this. I was fucking saying the other day, I was like, I want to become the first Zoom cruise ship comedian. I was like, that gig, like just sell my soul to the Zoom devil.
Yo, I love how audience members are riffing about their like crazy virginity stories in the chat.
Oh,
Ryan
boy.
Spills just throwing it all out there. Losing his virginity in a threesome on a cruise ship. That's gonna change a lot of people's minds about cruises in this year's Zoom. Everyone's like, what?
Yeah.
Nice. Polyamory cruise lines, guys. Buy one, get 3 tickets free. That's how they work it on those ships. Michael Clare, cruises, what do you got?
So I have a, you know, like when your coworker comes back from a cruise, it's like, oh, you've taken off the past 9 days. Good to see you. I knew someone at work who came back and they're like, yeah, the cruise is great, but the week before, someone who worked on the elevators got trapped on the elevator and actually got crushed, and there was blood dripping down the elevator door of the cruise. She pulls up like the viral story about this happening. There's a video, and I mean, and so she's telling us, and I had to like pretend, you know, and be like, oh my God, like that's so traumatic. I hope that they have it roped off. In my head, I'm like, this is the greatest fucking cruise ever. Professional and kind of be all like, oh, someone lost their life. Oh, it's so sad. Imagine their family. And in my head, I'm like, there was blood, like people coming back from their buffet, from their shitty Carnival comedian, like the cover band in the lobby, and all of a sudden there's fucking a bloody elevator. Like it was just like the most fascinating cruise I've ever heard in my life. I mean, it's out there. The stories, you know, it's online, and I only hope that one day all of us can get on a cruise, maybe together. Ham and Brian, I'm paying for the fucking trio cruise trip on the honeymoon. I have not yet lost my virginity, so let's go and relive Ryan Spills' story. Let's get fucking crazy with it. I'm talking threesomes with people with pork-themed names, bloody elevators. That's how I'm gonna roll on cruises.
Hell yeah!
That is the riff to end all riffs. riffs, I
Hell
think.
yeah.
You guys.
Solid riff. Solid
That
job.
is the comedy show. We fucking did it. How about a round of applause for all the comedians you saw tonight? Myq Kaplan, Joe Gorman, Michael Clare. My name's Brian Barganier. This is Kate Ham Clancy. Please go to publicaccessandchill.com for all things Public Access and Chill. If you want to watch any of our sketch shows, we have a Roku channel. If you have a fucking
I got the
Roku
shirt on.
or a Roku device, you can just fucking download it. It's also called Public Access and Chill. We make like 55 fucking TV shows. Why don't you watch one of them?
They're
And we do
free.
these virtual comedy shows sometimes. You can donate at Daddy Woke or at Ham Clancy on Venmo. All the donations go to the performers tonight. That's the end of the show. Thank you guys very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Don't have any music queued up, but yeah, we'll do something in a second. 1 second.
A Roku channel.